I have a real problem with that, bro.
Yeah.
Like not expressing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure a lot of men have that. And I'm gonna throw that out as the first battle.
Mm.
Whether you express yourself and be seen one way, or whether you deal with it yourself and be seen no way.
Yeah.
And I would say that that's a scenario where, you know, let's say in your life a lot of people are asking a lot of things of you, and you're just like, man, I don't want to do it this time, but you don't say that. And so you just follow through with what they want you to do. And so you're not looking out for yourself. And that's just one of the battles. So
Yeah. Same here, bro. Like, and that's really the reason I wanted to like create this episode was because I would say during the last 2 weeks I've been like struggling with how much do I keep to myself and how much do I express to other people, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because as a man, bro, you don't want to feel like a burden to anybody, and especially like hearing another man complain, like
man, that shit's disgusting.
that's what I'm
If I'm
saying.
being honest,
So it's like
hearing myself do the same shit is like worse.
yeah. So it's like you gotta like it's hard to find that. I don't even know if it is a balance. We had an episode, couple episodes back about balance is impossible, some shit like that. But it's hard to find that balance, bro, because it's like you don't want to. At least for myself, because like, and this is something else. I'm pretty sure a lot of other men face is just like maybe feeling weak if you express how you feel for real. So you keep it to yourself because it's not so much of you don't want other people to think that you're weak. You don't want yourself to think that you're weak.
Exactly.
So you keep it in, you keep it to yourself, bro. So
And honestly, like dudes are pretty good at handling shit on their own. Okay, I mean, I might not say that in the majority sense, but a lot of guys are pretty good at handling things on their own. But sometimes it might be that one situation that just like is a little bit too much for them. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And I think that that's a very interesting point, that you don't want to be seen weak to yourself, because it's like you kind of build yourself up and you create this vision of yourself, and you want to uphold that vision and maintain that vision and grow that vision. And so when something is done that is, a digression of that vision, you feel like you're not the same. And I think honestly, we're just gonna have to accept that, like, people are vulnerable, bro. Like, I be watching these people on these speakers, and they tell their story. They're vulnerable.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't, where do you think that comes from? Like the inability to
Open up as a man.
yeah.
I think it comes from early childhood, bro. Like just the way we're conditioned and the way that we're programmed. So I always use this example. So you like, let's say a little boy, at least majority of the families, I would say, a little boy fall, scrape his knee. They gonna be like, man, get up, like walk that shit off, But if a girl fall down, scrape her knee, and she's getting all catered to, and so I think it starts with things like that. So like, as you become older, as that little boy turns into a teenager and a young man, and then a fully mature man, is like those habits kind of like
What's the
stick
alternative
with
though?
him.
Because shouldn't it be like that?
Yes, I think it should, and it shouldn't. Like, or okay, or we could use an example like, well, I'm gonna use me for example, cause like, like, or even like as a boy, a little boy, and you may like cry because some shit, you know what I'm saying? I understand like you shouldn't cry all the fucking time, but like you will cry, and then somebody may be like, man up, you know what I'm saying? So then like that man up kind of turns into like some shit in your mind as you just become older. It's like every time a situation happens, you like man up, man up, man up,
Yeah.
and it becomes hard for you to, like even deal with your emotions for real because you have that program of man up in your mind.
Yeah. So basically, it goes from someone external telling you to now this is embedded into your subconscious and you're telling yourself internally.
Yeah,
And that, I don't think people understand how much of a strong hold that is.
yeah,
Like, bro, it really like in this society today, I think that people would be okay if men opened up.
mm,
If I'm in this society today, but because of the nature of you know this this society, I think that people would be more accepting of it. But going back to my last question, like, shouldn't this be what it is? Like, I think that men should have the absolute hardest lives that they can, because if you have the toughest pressure, you might be the shiniest diamond. You know what I'm saying? If you go through the hardest trials and tribulations and you're able to come out on top without any extra help, that's kind of like a prideful thing. And that's something that men need to be able to function in their respective roles. They have to have an ego of some kind. They have to have pride of some kind. It doesn't have to be destructive, but that has to be built up for men. And like, if this world went to where kids or male kids were coddled just like female kids, the world would not be in a better place.
yeah, no,
So, what do we do with this? Because what we call it is complaining, because it's not something that we do. We don't necessarily tell everybody every single situation that goes on. We handle
Mhm.
it. So then what do we do? Like,
I think it's journal. Like I don't think anybody, because I agree with you, bro. I don't think men need to be all coddled and stuff. But at the same time, I do believe men don't need to suppress everything. I feel like maybe the balance doesn't need to be 50-50 between keeping shit in and opening up. Maybe it could be like a 70-30 or some shit. But I do believe like the percentage for like opening up for men does need to increase as an overall. But I think it needs to be some type of positive outlet for men to do, because a lot of times, we just we keep shit in until, like you said, until that breaking point hits, some shit
yeah,
happens in our life, some experience happens, and now you lose control of yourself because you had decades of stored up emotions inside of you, and then once that experience hits, it's boom, and you explode or some shit. Now you may be dead, in jail, divorced, uh, etc.
what if it's not stored up emotions? What if it's just that this is a situation this specific man has never encountered and it's just a little bit more intense than
Mm.
he's used to? He's handled every situation in the past relatively well, but just that one that, like, there's an emphasis on, I really feel like there's an emphasis on perfection a little bit. Whenever, like, a dude making a mistake is much more grave than a man, not a boy or a child. It's much more grave. It's held as more of a stain on that person.
Mm.
And it makes us continue operating in that way of trying to be 100% okay. And I think that men, honestly, opening up more, bro, I think these niggas done opened up a lot. You know what I'm
Pause.
saying?
Pause.
Wait, okay, pause. But like,
I know what you're
I
saying,
think with the people that care about us, we should more,
yeah.
but not to the public.
Yeah. That's why I said like positive outlets. So for one, journaling, that's some shit that helps me because like, for example, I journal every Sunday, bro, and I was journaling because it was just a Sunday. And next thing I know, I'm 3 pages in. I didn't realize how much was on my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because like that shit was really just like stored in thoughts and emotions that was just going on. So I got that shit out with a journal. So I feel like every man needs some type of outlet, positive outlet that they can let their thoughts out, let their emotions out, instead of always just, talking to somebody or something like that. I mean, you should talk to somebody, but not like you shouldn't always come to somebody about your fucking problems, basically. So, and we all have problems, so just write that shit down in the fucking journal and keep journaling. And you gonna feel better, bro.
Nigga said keep journaling.
Oh God.
Nigga said fuck out that other shit. Keep journaling.
Literally though, bro.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. It's definitely a great outlet. One thing that I speak about that helps me is taking walks in the park. That's just how I process stuff, honestly. Like I get to, I don't know, have a space of just me walking alone and shit's just floating, and I get to pick which one I want to focus on and then work through it. And that has been a really good one for me that I think a lot of men should probably try out if you haven't. But having an outlet is definitely, it allows those emotions to flow.
Yeah.
And I think that, like I said before, with the people that are close to us, we should be better at opening up or being transparent